Hey kids, we only got a short amount of video space here, so we're going to try to make this real brief. Today we have, I think it's an 03 Nissan Altima 2.5. Old motor got cooked from overheating severely, coolant in 3 cylinders and all that good jazz. Anyway, so the owner of the car decided to buy one of those JDM motors from Japan off of eBay. I don't have really an issue with that. That's not a big deal. Although they say it was the exact picture of the thing. This one's been painted. It's not the exact picture. Things you're going to have to do, they don't give you the exhaust manifold because the exhaust manifold has a catalytic converter integrated into it, so they're not going to give you that. That's just a given. You got to change over the intake manifold unless you want to get rid of and delete your secondaries. So there is that. Everything else pretty much is a almost swap over. I mean, really, the sensors are all basically the same. They usually leave the power steering pump on there because who cares? It's not like it actually has any value. They did take off the flex plate. Now here's where I ran into one big issue is this right here, and I didn't have one. And I thought I had most every socket, but I guess I didn't have an E20. An E20 is inverted Torx. Usually the bolts are very long, or the bolt heads are studs are very long, similar to these right here on a stud. And they're very long splines on there. This one has very shallow. It looks actually like a flower. It's a 6-sided flower. Note the curves. It's just an unusual size. Between pounding sockets on it, had to use the angle grinder, destroyed a couple. They're about $250 a piece or so on or something like that at the dealership, so I just bought 6 of them. They had them right on hand. When they tell them to look them up, don't tell them to look up the transmission, tell them to look up engine, crankshaft, and it's in that exploded diagram that they're able to find the part number and order your thing. Now, as far as the socket to get it, I had to spend $40 to get this socket from LaSalle, whatever. It's an E20. However, to make this socket work, and I had to order mine through O'Reilly's. They had it at their main warehouse. They shipped it in, had it there that day. Maybe you can get it elsewhere. However, what it is this thing is been machined with a chamfer in all the way around, and what happens is it doesn't actually, it allows you to hand screw them in, but you cannot actually drive them in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually shorten this brand new, never used socket that I paid $40 I had to buy a whole set, and this was the largest that comes in there, and I'm going to cut this down till it's flat flush, and that should allow me to drive these in and get some decent torque on them. The other option you have is find out what this thread pitch is. It looks like a M11 actually. I tried an M10, it's way too big for that. M12, I couldn't find anything that was right. It feels like an M11, so I didn't put a mic on it to find out. So hopefully this might help somebody. Other thing, you're going to have to swap over your thermostat neck, and the reason for that being is their thermostat neck does not have this port for this line going up to your throttle body. Theirs, it's just they never machined or drilled a hole in it and pressed in a bung for it. However, theirs has for a coolant temperature sensor on the dash, so rather than just a dummy light. I presume that's how it's done. I really don't know. I didn't actually look at the dash on this car to find out the difference. So that's the second difference right there that you're going to run into. Everything else seems to be about the same from everything I can tell. So if you got to change over this flex plate, get the right socket. And I hate having to cut this brand new fucking socket that I just paid so much for. Other tips on the job. Motor mounts were not too bad. I found it was best to take this one out completely. I did not even pull the axles, the wheels, nothing on this car. Getting it in and out really wasn't too bad. The wiring harness unbolts completely. Starter really wasn't too tough. You only need to take out the top starter bolt. I took them both out just to get it free and clear 100%. Didn't take the radiator out, left the AC compressor. It's just sort of hanging there. I took the lines off at the power steering pump rather than unbolting the pump itself. I figured I was going to be using the new pump anyway. Yeah, peace out, bitches. Oh yeah.